What is up? Welcome to Cat and Beats and welcome to Tuning a Kick Drum. We're going to be tuning a kick drum, but we're also going to be talking about some theory. Because without the theory, you wouldn't understand why you would have to tune a kick drum, what you would have to tune a kick drum to, and these things are really important to know. So, theory-wise, we're going to start in a second. We're going to be discussing two ways of tuning a kick drum. The first way will be with staying in scale, and the second one is if you play with a lot of musicians, it's nice to tune the kick drum to automatically go out of scale. Now, tuning a kick drum, the one frequency that you can really tune in a kick drum is the sub frequency, and the frequency on top of that, I don't suggest you tune that too much, but because it doesn't have so much tonal presence, it's more a very short attacking sound. I don't think you really need to tune that, but that's personal. So, what frequencies do you have to decide on to tune? That's something that is interesting and we can both agree on. So, the frequencies you can decide to tune on are the resolution notes. Now, there's tension notes and there's resolution notes. So if you're gonna have a song which is completely in one scale, so let's say it's the C major scale, and your whole song is written with just the white notes, okay, just the C major scale, you can tune your kick drum to either one of these three notes. It's the first, the third, and the fifth note, and these are resolution notes. And why are they called resolution notes? Well, that's because the other notes, the tension notes, this one for instance, wants to resolve to the fifth. This note, for instance, wants to resolve to the third. The second note, for instance, wants to resolve to the third or to the one again. Also, this note wants to resolve to the C or to the one note again. So let me just show you what I mean here so you really understand. This note, and this note are resolution notes in this scale. In almost all scales, the first triad, those notes of that triad are the resolution notes, okay? And then the tension notes are here. And tension notes want to resolve. Now, why would you want to have resolution notes instead of tension notes? Well, if you're going to be tuning a kick drum, you're only doing that to make it sound more clean, right? So I would then emphasize resolution instead of tension. Tension will always be a little bit mangled. If you would have a bass line which will always go on C, and you would have a kick note which will always be on B, you would get that tension. I don't think it sounds good, right? That's not what we're trying to go for. So this is the theory behind it, and your kick drum can go to either of these notes, 1, 3, or 5 of a scale, first, third, or fifth note. Now, how do you go about that? And first of all, let's also look at a kick really quick so you understand. So I have a kick here, and I'm just going to get the tuner. This is like the most normal way of people checking if a kick drum is in tune. If you take any kick drum, all the kick drums, they go from a high frequency to a low frequency. It goes doof, 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 but then it goes really fast and you get a sound. And you can even see that in this kick drum I have here. And here's the tuner. If I just press play on this kick, you can see that it's moving around quite a lot. And if we would move around the, let me just delete this for a second. If we would move around this start point, you'll notice that these notes start changing as well. You see? Basically, this causes that you can't have a resolution note because it goes doo, doo, doo. Most kick drums are like this, so keep that in mind. What we can do now instead is layer a static frequency that is in key with our resolution notes. So we can do that via getting an operator and putting it into an instrument rack. To create an instrument rack, you right click on anything and you press group, by the way. Now you put this operator on here, you click on this button here, fixed, And then you can change the frequency, though the frequency is always static no matter what note I play. So if we're in C major, we can click here, just Google hertz and notes, and go to the C. So the C's frequency is 65.41. Well, we'll put that in here, 65.41, and press enter. And now this kick is going to continuously play 65.41, and there will be a C in this tuner. Before we do that, we need to get our EQ and also put this to around that number. All right, so let's just leave it for there for now. There we go, it's on C-ish. Let me just move this around a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we have it on C, and we're quite happy with that. And what we can do is change how this is working, so this velocity, so you can shape how you want the sub to behave. Do you want it to come up later, first the kick, then the sub, for instance? But you can also do another cool thing, which is you can add these other oscillators. And you can add these oscillators on the other frequencies. So if we have C, E, G, 1, 3, 5 of the C major scale, we can start adding the E, for instance, or the G. Let's just do this G. Let's do another G. Let's get this one, 196. All right, so we're going to put that in here, 196. And we'll add a little bit of an amp here. Now what you'll notice is as soon as I start adding this tuner is made to tune melody, which is one note at a time, not harmony. So as soon as you start adding this stuff in there, it's gonna start messing up a little bit. But here at least you can make some upper frequencies, which is always nice to have. Take it as you will. This is a way to go about doing it. Now let's look at another way of tuning a kick drum, specifically if your kick drum continuously changes key. Or the fundamentals, so the resolution notes continuously change. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get the meat of this kick without the bass, which I think is about here. Okay, about 80 hertz. And I have prepared this already. I've prepared a bass, and this bass is a jazz bass, and jazz basses are renowned, or jazz music in general is renowned to continuously change key. So let's start sidechaining and doing things with this. So what we're going to be needing is the Fabfilter Pro, whatever, and put it on the bass here, and put one on a sidechain as well. So you're going to need to make a sidechain kick. What you're going to have to do is click on I/O and go to Audio 2 and direct this audio of the sidechaining kick to the bass group, and then direct it to the group of, and then direct it to the Fabfilter Pro thingy on the bass. So this sound is currently going into my bass and feeding into my Fabfilter Pro. So if I open that up, you can see what I did here. I created a bell curve, and this bell curve is playing from around 90 whatever, this many hertz, and is going till all the way down low. And we're gonna click on expand because we want to expand the sub. Every single time the kick hits, I want to expand the sub so that it fills in the fundamental frequencies here. So there's always a changing fundamental frequency according to the key of the song here. So that is being pushed up here from my bass, and we're gonna have to click on this button named Expert and click on External Source In. And if there's a cool little button here, so it says Post and Sidechain, and you can see what happens. So if I now press play and press play on my sidechaining kick, you can see that this goes up every single time, and every single time a new fundamental frequency is put in, it goes in here. So I think these are two ways of going about it, and the latter one being quite a lot more musical. Again, you can apply this to your snare drum, your hi-hat. You can apply this technique with this Fabfilter to quite a lot of things. And you can also try compressing, for instance, instead of expanding. Make sure you mess around with the range as well. How far does it go up or down? Make sure you mess around with the attack. When does it go up or down? And the output. So to conclude this whole thing, you can take this as you want, but the main point that I'm trying to tell you is that if it sounds good, it's good. You're not going to find many drummers who tune their drums to a song. I'm a drummer myself, been playing since I was 4, and I've had numerous of teachers from all over the world, and none of them ever even brought up the subject. It was always, man, that sounds good, let's play that. That sounds great, let's play that. And I think for most musicians, if it sounds good, it is good. For most mixing engineers, if it sounds good, it is good. Most mastering even. So you can use this little tool just to, use it to make your sound better. And I think that's the key thing that you need to take home. Make your sound better. Take care. And don't worry if it doesn't. Just keep trying. All right, cheers.